Hi, Hike and Jim here. Welcome to another episode of Adventures in Stoving. The stove system that you see in front of you here is the Jetboil Joule. So this is a snow melting monster. It's a really big pot. The pot on the box, it says it's 2.5 liters. It'll actually, if you fill it to the brim, it'll hold 3 liters. It's got increments marked up the side of the pot to 2.5, but it'll actually hold more. So you might actually be able to fit 2.5 liters of water and really work with it. A lot of pots, if you fill it up to the stated limit, it'll be right to the brim. You won't be able to work with it. Okay, so let's take a look at the system here. What we've got here is we've got the pot handle. You have to pinch it, turn the pot handle out like that, let it pop back into the locked position in the lowered position. And it's a little, there we go, a little bulky, but there we go, got it. Now it's locked into position. Got your lid. One thing I noticed about the lid, there's a little orange tab that's supposed to be right here. I was trying to pour with the pot, and the lid fell off and the orange piece broke off. So I'm gonna have to ding Jetboil on that one. If the pot lid falls from the top of the pot to the table, a distance of, 10 inches or something, and the little orange thingy breaks off, okay, I'm gonna have to criticize that as being structurally unsound. All right, inside you've got the burner unit, and it comes in this bag here. I'm gonna pull it out. I've also, now this is an optional extra. This is the Jetboil windscreen, this plastic affair here. And you store it upside down in the pot. It's got the Jetboil logo on it. It's got these little grooves in it, and what you do is you take it from its locked position or closed position and put it into the second slot, and now it's in its using position, or its functional position as a windscreen. And then you've got some studs. They look a little bit like cufflinks, and you have to slip them underneath the pot cozy. They come through holes that are pre-cut. You put the studs like that, then the windscreen fits up around the pot, pops down onto the studs. And here, let me just show you. So here's the little stud, boom, there's the windscreen, and then the windscreen is going to look like this. And you're going to put that eventually onto the burner unit. So the burner unit comes in this little bag. It's kind of a velvet bag with drawstring on it. It's a big unit. This is an inverted canister stove, which means that when you run the stove, the canister is upside down, inverted. So here's my standard size canister. This is a 110 size canister, 110 gram. It will take a 220 or 110. It will not take a 450. So if I were melting snow, I would want as much fuel as possible. I might consider taking a 450 gram size canister, but you can't do that with a Jetboil Joule. It will take a 110 or a 220 or something of that order, but it will not take a 450. All right, this is the burner unit, and it has to have its own supports because it's not screwing into the top of the canister. And so what you do is you flip open the lever and screw in the canister, and away you go. Now, one thing I noticed here is that there is a regulator, and the regulator sticks up above the base. Now, I think that's a bit of a problem, actually. So let's say I had a rock, like say one of these over here, and the regulator actually, whereas I might want to have, well, that's not the best example, it's not a very flat rock, but the regulator, you'd want the base of the stove, and here, watch, see how it's rocking? It's rocking on the regulator. So you want the base of the stove to be flat onto the different parts of the rock, but it's actually got the regulator is hitting the ground, and so you can't get it to sit quite properly. So I think that's, sometimes it won't matter, but there's a lot of times where that regulator is going to stick out, and that's going to interfere with the way that the stove sits on the ground. Okay, so then I've got my valve. You want to make sure you close it before you attach anything. And it's just got a standard wire turner there. Anyway, that's the stove. You can see this tube here, this brass line here, this is the fuel line, goes up into the burner head, comes around here like this. So the fuel is going to come up and around like that. The fuel, as it passes through there, of course, when you turn the canister upside down, you're taking liquid fuel off of the bottom of the canister, and it's going to come, and the pressure of the canister is going to drive it up that fuel line right there. It's going to come out here. It's going to go through the burner. The heat of the burner will vaporize the fuel. Then it's going to come back around here, and there's a mixing chamber right in here, and it's going to come out and burn in the burner. And you'll notice in the center of the burner there is a piezoelectric ignition. So that's the Jetboil Joule. I won't fire it up just yet, but that's the system, and it's a big, huge snow melting machine. That's what it is. All right, I'm Hiking Jim. Thanks for joining me on another episode of Adventures in Stoving.